So let's give another big round of applause for that stunning performance. So what you've just experienced, a short journey into folded space, brought together performers who were over 1,000 miles apart into a combined space in real time, quite literally folding the space. Of course, this is only possible with networks as powerful as Janet, linking to networks in Europe. Few networks in the world are capable of doing this, but the power and capability and the collaboration and imagination that this enables, as we've just seen. And the ability to collaborate in Europe has never been more necessary than it is today. So anyway, welcome to Digifest 2019, where over the next 2 days, we'll celebrate the many ways technology can change lives. This is our biggest Digifest ever, and we've over 1,200 delegates, firmly establishing Digifest as one of the leading EdTech conferences in the world. So welcome to everybody, and thank you for coming. However, Digifest is only possible due to your contributions and those of our sponsors. So I'd just like to say a very big thank you to Microsoft, Google and their partners C-Learning, BenQ, Studiosity, and LastPass, and of course the many others who are listed up there. Now, when I graduated in 1981 as a computing student, almost all my notes were handwritten, laboriously scribed in lectures, who's probably bored, and I suspect quite frustrated lecturers at the front of various theatres and rooms. I know most of my time was spent writing, and it took quite a bit of deciphering work afterwards to understand what I was being taught. Almost all my assignments were handwritten. I say almost all because I was a computing graduate. So I was able to gain some very valuable time with mainframes to do my project work. Now, when it came to my PhD in 1986, there'd been a revolution. I was able to use some of the universities, and later my employers, PCs for my work. I did some lecturing during that time too, where I lovingly and painstakingly created lots of overhead projector slides, as a naive postgrad student that I was. I did feel for my students hanging on to my every word. Not. I'm not sure then I had the insight to do much more than pass on the scarce knowledge that I had, which they in turn wrote down as I watched, assuming that's what they were doing. Come 1988, and my first child was born. About this time, I saw my first so-called portable computer, as up there, the Osborne. It was a size that most airlines would refuse as hand luggage these days, and it could do almost nothing. Pair that with the first mobile phones, and I remember these as well, the size of a shoebox. And it was less mobile warrior, more mobile strongman, but this was the best we could do in 1988. Let's remember at this time, we at Janet were providing the internet for researchers at that point. The general public and commercials didn't have access to the internet, and the World Wide Web was still to be invented. It was only during the mid-1990s that the internet and the World Wide Web really made its move outside of academia. The first internet banking capabilities emerged, the first destination websites, the first social media, and with that, the first millennium bugs. That's only 25 years ago, or millennium bugs, or less. So why the history lesson? I want to put into context the truly massive change that has happened in the world during my working lifetime, and a large part of this only in the past 25 years. My eldest daughter, born just before the web came into existence, has lived through a revolution that has already changed many industries. Both my daughters have no sense of a world without the level of connectedness that we now exist in. The speed of that change, as many of us in this room have experienced, is immense. And we see technology and its impact changing even faster and in more wondrous ways. So as my eldest, God willing, gives birth to my first grandchild this summer, when he enters tertiary education, I do hope he'll be able to have a very different experience to me, and even their mother. Here at Jisc, we have an Education 4.0 vision. We believe these latest technologies in the Industrial Revolution 4.0 are ones that will fundamentally shift the centuries-old way of lecturing to a new paradigm, one where machine and student form a unique partnership to give the student all the knowledge they need. And not only that, the lecturer and student will have a unique, different, and better partnership. Lecturers and teachers will be liberated from the daily grind of essential admin to do what they do best, engaging with their students to give them the wisdom, insight, and soft skills they'll need, and the capability for repeated self-reinvention during their increasingly long lives. Here at Digifest, amongst many other exciting things, we're celebrating Education 4.0 because the potential is huge. Imagine if we all pulled together to harness the power of this technology for good in our institutions. Many of you are already changing lives for the better through technology. And over the next 2 days, we are looking forward to exploring and understanding how we can all make the most of this together. Let's give today's children the chance to experience a new 21st century way of learning. Let's reinvent lifelong learning, so making it easier for the more mature amongst us to explore new passions and careers. Let's give my grandson, your grandchildren, and future generations to come the educational experience they deserve and support the UK to be a true lifelong learning leader. Thank you.